Good morning. Welcome. So here we have a very special day. Again, this is the 8th. This is Tara Day, where we make special prayers to Arya Tara, our great mother, a wisdom Buddha. So we will be doing that later in this session. But we'll begin with our liberating prayer and our usual meditation.
O Blessed One, Shakyamuni Buddha, precious treasury of compassion, bestower of supreme inner peace, you who love all beings without exception, are the source of happiness and goodness, and you guide us to the liberating path. Your body is a wish-fulfilling jewel. Your speech is supreme purifying nectar, and your mind is refuge for all living beings. With folded hands I turn to you, supreme unchanging friend. I request from the depths of my heart, please give me the light of your wisdom to dispel the darkness of my mind, and to heal my mental continuum. Please nourish me with your goodness, that I in turn may nourish all beings with an unceasing banquet of delight. Through your compassionate intention, your blessings and virtuous deeds, and my strong wish to rely upon you, may all suffering quickly cease, and all happiness and joy be fulfilled, and may holy Dhamma flourish forevermore.
So now we can begin our meditation. Sitting comfortably, take some time to let your body relax. Notice any tension or discomfort anywhere in your body and let it dissolve away. And then with our body light and comfortable, we can bring our attention to our breath, following the sensation of the air flowing, feeling it in the front of our nose or in our throat, and holding our awareness just there, letting go of everything else, coming back to the breath again and again. In this way, we calm and focus our mind. In this meditation, we're going to develop an awareness of the emptiness of our body. So we begin by getting a mental image of our body, the body we normally see. So mentally scan your body, the way it looks, the way it feels, inside and outside, all the aspects of your body. You get a mental image. This is my body. And now imagine that everything inside your skin dissolves into light. Leaving you with a hollow, empty body filled with light. Picture this. Empty like space filled with light. Now picture that your skin also becomes clear with no obstacle, no obstructing properties, just light. A body of light, empty like space. No physical sensations, no weight, just an empty like space filled with light, like a hologram. Place your mind in concentration on this image. Body of light, free of physical sensations or weight. Concentrate on this space-like emptiness for a little while longer. And then as we prepare to come out of meditation, think that your body returns to its normal state, but remains light and comfortable. So we can gently come out of meditation. So today we're continuing to develop our wisdom, understanding emptiness, part of our ultimate bodhicitta, part of our practice of the six perfections, developing wisdom. So we're looking today at the aspect of wisdom, realizing the emptiness of our body. So the body we normally see, we have this image. However we normally see or experience it. But we see or experience it generally as a unitary thing, a truly existent thing. This is my body. My body feels terrible, or my body looks great, or something like that. And we, of course, we cherish this body and we think about it all the time. And we lavish affection and attention on it. Attention. We do so many things for it. And what we're going to look at today is that the body we normally see, this inherently existent unitary thing, doesn't actually exist. So we have this image of our body. And we're going to look for the truly existent body. If my body truly exists, I should be able to find it. I should be able to find something that is truly my body. And to be truly existent means it wouldn't depend on anything else, and it wouldn't change. Because if it doesn't depend on anything, then it can't be impacted by events or causes. So right away, we can tell that since our body clearly changes from year to year and from moment to moment, that it's not inherently existent. It's not independently existent. And we can understand clearly that it depends on multitude of causes, from our parents' union to what we had for breakfast today. So it depends on so many things, causes and conditions, that it can't be inherently existent. That's not what it means. But yet we think about this body and cherish it like a real thing. We think about it, we name it. So we're going to look at that today. If we search for our body, the body that we normally see, we're going to be using, again, some of the meditations from 8 Steps to Happiness, our main text for this class. So there's a section in this chapter called The Emptiness of Our Body. So Shantideva was saying that there is no body, the body we normally see, that inherently exists. But because of ignorance, we see a body within the hands and so forth. Just like a mind mistakenly apprehending a person when observing a shape of a pile of stones at dusk. So we mistakenly see our body within our hands. So we look at a part of our body, we look at our hands, or we look down at our legs, our lap, and we think, oh yeah, that's my body. But if we think about that more carefully, it's a tiny part of our body. The hands are a part of our body. They're not our body itself. The legs are a part of our body. And if we look down at our lap and think that's my body, we're actually looking at some clothing covering that body. Somewhere, the clothing on that body. And so we're not even seeing what we normally call our body. So we only see tiny parts of it, and yet we impute or label, that's my body. We see a hand, we think that's my body. We see our face in the mirror, we think that's my body. And yet, if we're imputing body on a part of the body, like our hands or our face, that would mean, if that was our body, that our body we'd have many bodies, because if the face is our body and the hand is our body, then every part would be our body, and we'd have multiple bodies. Our chest, our back, our toes, our feet, all these parts would be bodies. If we look at one part and say, this is my body, it can't be our body, because then there would be as many bodies as we have parts. So that's ridiculous. Further, even the parts that we see, like our hands, those are made up of parts. And those parts are made up of parts until you get down to, tiny subatomic levels. And those disappear also. So there's nothing there that inherently exists. The parts of my body are not my body. So then you may be thinking, yeah, but it's the whole collection, it's all the parts that are my body. But there's a special logic that we apply here. If we have a collection of things that are not our body, a bunch of parts, that collection of parts cannot be the body. And here's the logic. If we have a bunch of dogs, which are not a human, this dog is not a human, that dog is not a human. So we put these dogs together, we don't get a human, because that's a collection of things that are not human, things that are dogs. In the same way, if we have this collection of parts of our body, that's a collection of things that are not our body. So it can't be the body. And that collection, in addition, that collection, the group of things that we're putting together in our mind, that depends on its parts also. You don't have a collection without the parts of the collection. That means it's not inherently existent. It depends on the parts, so it's not inherently existent. So we've seen that the body we normally see is not a part. The parts are not the body, either singly, like the hands, or the collection of the parts. So if a single part is not our body and a collection of parts is not our body, where's our body? Is it elsewhere? And if we think about this, we imagine that all the parts of our body disappeared, dissolved into light. Is there anything left that we could call our body? So we understand that the body can't be found. It doesn't exist somewhere else outside of the parts. And it's not any one part, like a hand or face, and it's not the collection of parts, because none of those are bodies, so the collection can't be a body. So we need to think about this deeply to understand the logic. It's clear that a bunch of dogs doesn't transform into a human when you put them together. In the same way, the parts don't magically transform into a body. And the reason this is important is because we cherish this body and we see it as an independently, inherently existent entity that we grasp at. So we have self-grasping, grasping at the true existence of this body that we normally see. And based on that, we have self-cherishing of the body we normally see. And we can understand that this is very problematic because this body that we normally see is going to get old. It's going to get sick. It can be injured. And it's going to die. And that's a very painful process to think about that, let alone experience it. So we're going to call on the wisdom of Aryatara, wisdom Buddha, our great mother, to help us realize emptiness and to help us increase our wisdom. Our great mother protects us and all living beings. And so we can understand that wisdom is our protector. And we can understand also that Aryatara, her green color representing the quick acting qualities of the wind, quick as the wind. Wisdom is very quick when we realize it. Everything changes like that. So we can learn gradually to realize that the body we normally see as inherently existent doesn't exist. It's just an appearance. We're focusing on an appearance to our mind, the way it appears. It appears as this unitary thing, but it doesn't exist that way. No inherently existent body, just an appearance, just a name. We can name this collection of parts our body, but we should know that it's just a name applied to a collection of parts, and it doesn't inherently exist from its own side. So we can engage in these Tara prayers together. This is liberation from sorrow. And you have a link to the prayers if you would like to read them. Otherwise, just relax, listen, and contemplate. And I will show you a beautiful picture of Aryatara while we engage in this practice. So now we'll begin our practice going for refuge, generating bodhicitta, inviting Aryatara to the space before us, and then homage to the 21 Taras. Requests for blessings, mantra recitation, and dedication.
I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment, go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, May I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. May all sentient beings possess happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be separated from the happiness that is without suffering. May they abide in equanimity without feeling close to some out of attachment, or distant from others out of hatred. From the supreme abode of Potala, born from the green letter Tam, you who liberate migrators with the light of the letter Tam, O Tara, please come here together with your retinue. Gods and demigods bow their crowns at your lotus feet. O liberator from all misfortune, to you, Mother Tara, I prostrate. Om, homage to Venerable Arya Tara. Homage to Tara, the swift one, the heroine, whose eyes are like a flash of lightning, who arose from the opening of a lotus, born from the tears of the protector of the three worlds. Homage to you with a face like 100 full moons in autumn, gathered together into one, blazing with brilliant light, like 1,000 constellations. Homage to you who are bluish gold, your hand perfectly adorned with a lotus flower, who arose from practicing giving moral discipline, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom. Homage to you who surmount the Tathagatas Ushnishas, whose victorious actions are limitless, who are greatly honored by the sons of the conquerors, who have attained every perfection. Homage to you who with the letters to Tara and Home fill the realms of desire, direction, and space. With the 7 worlds beneath your feet, you are able to draw all beings to bliss. Homage to you who are worshipped by Indra, Agni, Brahma, Vayu, and the other mighty gods, and before whom the hosts of evil spirits, zombies, smell-eaters, and givers of harm respectfully offer praise. Homage to you who by saying Tre and Pei completely destroy the obstructions of enemies. You suppress with your right leg drawn in and your left extended, and blaze with a fierce and raging fire. Homage to Tura, extremely fearsome one, who completely destroy the chief of demons. With the wrathful expression on your lotus face, you vanquish all foes without exception. Homage to you whose fingers perfectly adorn your heart, with a mudra symbolizing the 3 precious jewels, adorned with a wheel of all directions, whose radiant light outshines all. Homage to you whose very joyful and shining crown ornament radiates a garland of light, who with your mirthful laughter of Tutare subdue the demons and worldly gods. Homage to you who are able to summon all the directional guardians and their retinues. Frowning and shaking with the letter Hum, you rescue all from their misfortune. Homage to you with the crescent moon adorning your crown, and all your ornaments shining brightly, with Amitabha in your top knot, the eternally radiating light. Homage to you who dwell amidst a garland of flames, like the fire at the end of the eon. With your right leg extended and left drawn in, you destroy the host of obstructions of those who delight in the Dharma wheel. Homage to you who strike the ground with the palm of your hand, and stamp it with your foot. With a wrathful glance and letter home, you subdue all 7 levels. Homage to you who are happy, virtuous, and peaceful, within the sphere of the peace of Nirvana. Fully endowed with Soha and Om, you completely destroy heavy evil actions. Homage to you who completely subdue the obstructions of those who delight in the Dharma wheel, rescuing with the array of the 10-letter mantra and the knowledge letter Hum. Homage to Ture, stamping your feet, born from the seed in the aspect of Hum, who caused Mount Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya, and all the 3 worlds to shake. Homage to you who hold in your hand a moon, the lake of the gods, saying Tara twice and the letter Pe, you completely dispel all poisons. Homage to you who are honored by the kings of the hosts of gods, and the gods and the Kinnaras. Through your joyful and shining pervasive armor, all conflicts and bad dreams are dispelled. Homage to you whose 2 eyes, like the sun or the full moon, radiate a pure clear light. Saying Hara twice and to Tara, you dispel the most violent infectious diseases. Homage to you who have the perfect power of pacifying, through your blessing of the 3 thatnesses, subduer of the hosts of evil spirits, zombies, and givers of harm, O Ture, most excellent and supreme. This concludes the praise of the root mantra and the 21 homages. The wise who recite this with strong faith and perfect devotion to the goddess, in the evening and upon arising at dawn, will be granted complete fearlessness by remembering her. Through the complete purification of all negativity, they will destroy all paths to the lower realms. They will swiftly be granted empowerment by the 70 million conquerors. They will attain greatness here and advance to the ultimate state of Buddhahood. Their violent and great poisons, both stable and moving, and even those that they have eaten or drunk, will be thoroughly eliminated by remembering her. They will be able to prevent all suffering that arises from spirits, diseases, or poisons, and be able to help others in the same way if they recite these 7 times, 6 times a day. Those who wish for a son will attain a son, and those who wish for wealth will attain wealth. All their wishes will be accomplished. No more obstacles will arise for them, and those that have already occurred will all be completely destroyed. To Venerable Aryatara, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, residing in the 10 directions and the 3 times, I prostrate with sincere faith. I offer you flowers, incense, lights, perfumes, foods, music, and other offerings, both actually set out and mentally imagined. Please accept these, O assembly of Aryas. I confess all negative actions, the 5 heinous actions and the 10 non-virtues that I have committed since beginningless time, through my mind being overcome by delusions. I rejoice in the merit of all the virtues, collected throughout the 3 times, by bodhisattvas, solitary conquerors, hearers, ordinary beings, and others. Please turn the wheel of Dharma, of the great, small, and common vehicles, according to the different wishes and capacities of living beings. For as long as samsara has not ceased, please do not pass beyond sorrow, but with compassion care for all living beings, drowning in the ocean of suffering. May all the merit I have collected become the cause of enlightenment, and before too long may I become the glorious guide of my greatest. Om Vajra Bhumi Ahum, great and powerful golden ground. Om Vajra Reke Ahum, at the edge the iron fence stands around the outer circle. In the center Mount Meru, the king of mountains, around which are 4 continents. In the east Purvavideya, in the south Jambudvipa, in the west Aparagordaniya, in the north Uttarakuru. Each has 2 subcontinents, Deha and Videha, Samara and Abhat Samara, Sata and Uttara Mantrina, Kurava and Karava, the mountain of jewels, the wish-granting tree, the wish-granting cow, and the harvest unsown, the precious wheel, the precious jewel, the precious queen, the precious minister, the precious elephant, the precious supreme horse, the precious general, and the great treasure vase, the goddess of beauty, the goddess of garlands, the goddess of music, the goddess of dance, the goddess of flowers, the goddess of incense, the goddess of light, and the goddess of scent, the sun and the moon, the precious umbrella, the banner of victory in every direction, in the center all treasures of both gods and men, an excellent collection with nothing left out. I offer this to you, my kind root guru and lineage gurus, to all of you sacred and glorious gurus, and especially to you, assembly of Aryataras, together with your retinues. Please accept with compassion for migrating beings, and having accepted out of your great compassion, please bestow your blessings on all sentient beings pervading space. The ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers, the great mountain for land, sun and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus. May all beings enjoy such pure lands, thus, O sublime object of refuge, please quickly protect all living beings from fears such as sickness, spirits, obstacles, untimely death, bad dreams, and ill omens. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. O venerable, blessed, compassionate Mother, may I and all countless living beings quickly purify the 2 obstructions, complete the 2 collections, and attain the state of complete Buddhahood. Throughout all our lives before we reach Buddhahood, may we attain the supreme happiness of humans and gods, and so that we may accomplish the omniscient mind, please quickly pacify and eliminate all interferences, evil spirits, hindrances, epidemics, and sickness, as well as the various causes of untimely death, bad dreams, ill omens, the fears, and all other forms of danger. May all mundane and supramundane collections of good fortune, happiness, goodness, and excellence increase, and may every beneficial purpose without exception be effortlessly and spontaneously accomplished. May I strive in my practice of sacred Dharma and increase my realizations. May I always accomplish you and behold your sublime face, and may my understanding of emptiness and the precious bodhicitta increase and grow like a waxing moon. May I be born from a sacred and most beautiful lotus, in the excellent joyful mandala of the conqueror, and there may I accomplish the prophecy I received directly from conqueror Amitabha. O goddess upon whom I have relied in previous lives, embodiment of the divine actions of all the Buddhas of the three times, bluish green one with one face and two hands. O swift pacifier, mother holding an Apala, may everything be auspicious. O conqueror, Mother Tara, whatever your body, retinue, lifespan, and pure land, and whatever your supreme and excellent name, may I and all others attain only these, through the force of my making these praises and requests to you. Please pacify all sickness, poverty, misfortune, fighting, and quarreling, throughout all directions where I and others live, and cause the Dharma and all good fortune to flourish. Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Om Tare Tu Tare Tu Re Soha.
We continue to repeat the mantra silently to ourselves. feel that as a result of these prayers, we're receiving Tara's blessings. Ourselves and all other living beings, receiving the blessings of wisdom and protection. You can picture this in the aspect of green light radiating from Arya Tara, touching every living being. Then we can continue with the dedication.
By this virtue may I quickly become Aryatara, and then lead every living being without exception to that ground. Through the virtues I have collected, by worshipping the Blessed Mother, may every living being without exception be born in the pure land of bliss. You who, having abandoned all bodily faults, possess the signs and indications, who, having abandoned all verbal faults, possess a heavenly voice, who, having abandoned all mental faults, realize all objects of knowledge. O Lady of blessed glorious renown, may there be the auspiciousness of your presence. So that the tradition of Jacksonville-FL, the king of the Dhamma, may flourish. May all obstacles be pacified, and may all favorable conditions abound. Through the two collections of myself and others, gathered throughout the three times, may the doctrine of Conqueror Los Andrapa flourish forevermore. Crown ornament of the scarlet source of all attainment. Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion. Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom. And Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hordes of martyrs. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainment. Sangapa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are Buddha Shakyamuni and Vajradhara, the source of all attainments. Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion. Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom. And Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hordes of martyrs. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainment. Sangapa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are Buddha Shakyamuni and Vajradhara, the source of all attainments. Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion. Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom. And Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hordes of martyrs. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all three truths, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make request. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme
So we can engage in this meditation as often as we want, dissolving our body into light. It's especially helpful if our body is appearing to give us trouble. Just remember that that body that we normally see or perceive or experience doesn't exist that way. It's an appearance, it's a name. We can experience that body empty like space filled with light in our meditation. And during our daily life, we can also remember that the body we normally see does not exist. And the same with all other phenomena. The body that hurts doesn't exist. The person that bothers us doesn't exist. Just names, just appearances. And we'll gradually gain a real understanding of this as we continue to study and practice. And Aryatara brings us wisdom, blessings, and helps us meditate and helps us gain this wisdom and protects us from all kinds of obstacles, as you saw from the prayers. So again, thank you for your participation and your good karma, and we've dedicated merit for the protection of all, for becoming like Aryatara, an enlightened being. And Tara became a Buddha through practice of the 6 perfections, just like we're trying to do. So that's inspiration. Okay, thank you. See you next time.